All right. It's live now. Just give me a second here.
Oh my.
Well, I mean, no one's watching it anyway. I'm gonna go on YouTube and I'm gonna share it to my Facebook. Make some
What?
people's
Shoot, what's
phone,
up?
ping some people's phones.
Let me see.
Cause I can do more than one screen.
She got me, bro.
Who's she?
It's no good.
I need more information. Sorry.
Oh man. It's supposed to be every what? 6 months? Every five months? 6 months?
Already?
I seen him. Yeah.
Hmm.
4.5, 5. Well, come on, man.
She ready. She wound up.
Right before I left here, left my house to come here. Like, what the hell? No.
Ooh, you got all your ducks in a row just on time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like how you picked the perfect day to go to jail. Remember that?
Yeah. It's not that
No.
kind of
Hey, look.
podcast, so leave that alone.
It's long enough ago that will tell the story. So this dude, this is my brother. He's done one night in jail. One night. And of all the days in creation, of the 2025 years of creation, this dude picked the one day that there was just an extra, $10,000 in the family. You know what I mean? We bonded him right out. It was crazy. Like perfect. You could have planned it no better.
That 10K came for a reason.
Yeah. So
Crazy.
all right. So I shared it. All right. So it's 8:00. Well, it's 8:04 now. Thursday. Every Thursday. We're live. I'm Cole House. My brother Samuel. We got Casey Lessman of Sakota Bulldogs. And Bobby Kaysen of Gray Area Bulldogs. I got to ask you, what's a Sakota?
So I live in Minnesota now, but I used to live in South Dakota. So, and my dad actually came up with it. I actually had registered my kennel name as something Choctaw because I have Choctaw in my lineage, and my dad came up with, because it just didn't flow right, and I was trying to think of something different. He came up with it, and I ran with it, and now he wants a percentage of everything I do.
Royalties.
Nice. Yes.
Yeah.
In perpetuity.
Yeah.
That's a cold word, perpetuity. Yeah. Yeah. And how'd you decide on Gray Area, Bobby?
There's a lot of gray area with breeding, especially bulldogs. So we're Gray Area Kennels. We're here to cut out the gray area.
There you go. I like it.
That's right. Transparent.
Okay. I like that because bulldogs have always been, like you said, in the gray. Like
I mean, they're a genetic anomaly all on their own. You see a wolf that looks like a bulldog?
No. Yeah. I like it.
That's
like
cool.
It a lot.
I always thought it was like the gray, basically, like it's not black and white ever. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. That's right.
I just
we live in a gray area.
For sure.
Constant.
Yeah. I try to make things black and white, but they're not always. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't work.
That's the way that goes.
Yeah.
You don't hit every time you step up to the plate.
Right. And then yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna start with you, Bobby. Before we get into, well, actually, as our way into, you had your first litter.
Yes, sir.
It was from outside looking in, successful.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I've seen a lot of things you did on a real high level. And my question is, what did you expect coming in and what did you get with the whole puppy experience?
I prepared for the worst and hoped for the best. 110%. Like, mama wasn't the best mama right out the gate, so she gave it to us on our first one. She would she would feed him, but she wouldn't clean him. She wouldn't do nothing. So we really had to be hands on with this and, see it through and make sure everybody was doing good. We were doing enemas, the whole nine, just making sure that everybody seen it through and was healthy and thriving. And first couple of weeks were crazy, but week 3 it was beautiful.
And you had 10 puppies.
8.
8. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Maybe it's because they all like kind of looked like I thought I counted 10, but eight's still that's a
It's
job.
a nice number.
Yeah. They look like a bunch of damn dairy cows, all black and white.
Yeah, they look good though. They look real
Yeah,
good.
they're nice. They're sleeping right now. That's when they're the most peaceful.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely you really started well. Most people don't start that well, so kudos.
We had a little vision coming in. We bought a couple dogs and they didn't turn out. We still feed them. We still love on them, but this is what we were aiming for. We definitely hit the nail on the head. Can't thank Chris enough for remembering Boom Boom in the damn pet home, because I forgot he was even in a pet home. So I'm definitely happy with how Boom and Agatha clicked up together. It was real nice.
I like that dog.
Yeah.
I really do.
He's a unit in person, bud.
Yeah. Last week, Michael
When I-
asked us all who our favorite dogs are, and that's one of the ones I listed. Like that. I like his type.
He's crazy, dude. Like bone on top of bone. He is wild.
Yeah. How
And he
how big
turns-
is he?
He's over 110 pounds, and that was prior to his 2-year-old birthday. He turned 2 the same day we dropped this litter.
Ooh,
Nice.
nice.
Yep.
Real
So our
nice.
puppy share birthday with Boom Boom.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was cool.
That's awesome. And how long you been in Bulldogs, Casey?
11,
Origin story.
a little over
Status.
10 years, 11 years. Yeah, I just, I met my first Old English Bulldog in 2001, I think. And I fell in love, but obviously was not in the position. And fast forward 2015, well, shoot, probably started planning about 2013. And then 2015, I brought home Mia from Gunpowder and just started, and I started off rough. I mean, I started when she was ready to breed. I wasn't in the position that I thought I would be in by the time she was ready to breed. So I did a few litters in an apartment. That's fun. Yeah, I didn't get into it.
Grind.
I was trying to. But luckily, it was a 6-plex, and I had a really cool landlord, so it wasn't as crazy as, and it was only me in a 2-bedroom apartment, so 1 bedroom was puppies, and I made it work, but was
Big
super
any
happy.
big litters in there or?
My first litter was 10.
Love
Yeah. Yeah.
it. Love it.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show.
So my neighbor downstairs was not very happy when they playtime was like,
Yeah.
stampede. Oh well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, since you said 2015,
Yeah.
when you actually started having, okay, that's pretty good. So it's been almost 10 years. 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. And tell me a little bit about the Empowered Breeder program that you use.
Yeah. So I discovered. Okay. So let me just preface by saying I started listening to the podcast 3-4 years ago. That's kind of where I started, and I just started taking little tidbits because if you try to overhaul your whole program with something new, it's really overwhelming. And I even think I want to say I remember hearing a podcast where they said, don't do that, implement this first, and then the next litter implement this along with it. And so I've had so I've kind of just done that along the way. And then 2 litters ago I had my Rolls Royce and Back to Black litter, and I did the full program, including other things that I do, like don't laugh, but like lullabies on the TV at nighttime and dog TV during the day. The dog TV does like 15-minute cycles of like blenders and traffic, and all day long they're getting acclimated to different noises that they might not even hear because I live in a small town. Are they going to ever hear a beep beep, and zoom, vehicles zooming? They're not going to hear that here. So, so I implemented the whole program, and it just really goes from from birth to 8 weeks, and then I have a thing to show, but the owners can get this, and this takes it through, I think, 12 to 18 weeks or something. It's like the next 4 weeks. Yeah. Something like that. Eight to 14. I can't remember. But so it goes through so that they can continue what the pup has already been doing. And it's just really, I think I've gotten the best compliments I've ever gotten off of any litter. Now, mind you, the parents have a lot to do with it too, because they're just really chill parents. But they were by far the easiest litter I've ever done. And then I did it with my next litter, different parents, different drives. I wouldn't say as easy that we had issues with the litter box training with them, but still getting the best reviews coming from the people that I've ever had. And not that I've had crap reviews, but just it's definitely
It's a notable difference.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, so I started doing that, and it's been I really like it. But like I said, I implemented little bits and pieces over 3-4 years. So
yeah. See, my original idea was to have somebody on to talk about puppy culture. We talked about it, puppy culture.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then you told me about the hands-off approach in the beginning. And it was a train of thought, a way to think that it hadn't clicked with me, and it didn't occur to me naturally because, I mean, that's part of the fun of Bulldogs is you're involved in the whole process. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you said it's hands off, basically, not jostling them around and putting ice cubes on their feet and turning them upside down and all that, and just letting them kind of get their bearings naturally would make for a more stable pup. I was like, I don't know that either one is totally right or wrong, but it makes sense.
No, and I think it's whatever works for you. And I found a lot of, like, I guess, common sense when I thought about the things that they were saying. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. And what does it hurt to try, And
right.
I used to do the ENS and the early neurological stimulation from day 3 to 16. I used to do the early scent. Is it ESI? Whatever where you expose them to different scents. Used to do that, and actually, Janet Foray, who who is the Badass Breeder or created the Badass Breeder program, she used to do it, and she has actually went away from it, saying that she has not noticed any different doing it with multiple litters. So yeah, she's actually went away from it to give it even more of a hands-off approach, at least, especially for the first 2 weeks. And kind of her theory is that they want basically the pup to feel safe and get everything it needs from the mom. And so it I guess feels confident in the mom's ability to protect and provide and that kind of thing. And I don't know, I guess I've just seen a big difference just being hands off. I used to live in the whelping pen. I'd get home from work, I'd go in there, I'd put my sweats on, I'd sit in there until it's time for bed, and then I would sleep right next to it, And so it's a big difference, because I love puppies and I love, doing that, but I can see the difference, and so I will continue with the hands-off approach.
And then, okay, but your puppies are natural, right? Okay, because that's the only thing I thought it was with C-section. It's hard to be hands off in the beginning.
Yeah, and I get that. I think you would just make
Make a quick exodus when you can.
Yeah, you would put them on, put them off, but it's more that I think it's more the intentional carrying them around, doing it, or sitting in there and just loving on them like we love to do.
Yeah.
It's and it you really notice a difference. At that 5 to 8 weeks. I can have my pups in the living room. You would not know. They could be sitting right next to me here, and they are not, unless they're playing with each other. They're not begging for my attention. They're not yiping when they see me come through the door. They're not. It's a whole different level of calm. That they're not looking for me to provide entertainment for them. They're not. It's and so people are really, I think, enjoy that. They don't have to deal with anxiety because the pup's been handled so much, and then all of a sudden it's not handled at all, or the people have to leave. That kind of thing. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So, how'd you deal with the first couple? Besides, your puppies were C-section, Bobby.
They were.
You actually have a little interesting story about that. I've heard it, but I haven't
Yeah.
seen the.
I've been trying to get the images. They sent it to me in a link, and the link expired.
Oh no.
Yeah, gotta love technology.
But it was
Yeah.
it was cool though that.
We had to have a C-section with her. Apparently, they found both the first puppies and each horn were breached on the imaging that my vet used. We were running a C-section either way. I'll just be honest with you. My first litter, I wasn't gonna deal with boom babies out of Agatha. Like I'm like, nah, we'll just take them out, make sure they're good, and then go from there. But yeah, we did have to have a C-section either way. She wouldn't have passed them.
Yeah, that's crazy that they could get that detailed of images.
Yeah, I thought so too. She was, ready to birth though, so they were in position. It was easy for him to see. And I asked him after he took them out. I said, was the image right? Were both puppies breached coming out of the horn? He said, oh yeah, they were both backwards.
So I have a question with that. So that's typically normal for them to come out backwards, frontwards. So was it because of their size and them coming out backwards?
Yeah, they were big.
Okay. Because I was going to say,
big.
Okay, that makes sense.
And Agatha's, that's one area that she lacks. She doesn't have a super wide rear. It's muscled up, but it's not wide. So
Sure.
boom babies out of that pelvis would have been a little nerve-wracking.
A lot nerve-wracking.
It was nerve-wracking sitting in the back of the Explorer with her at the vet all day.
Yeah, no, you did 1,000% right, because I don't know where you guys live, but my worst fear is winding up that after-hours vet. I'd rather just go ahead and pay $1,100 and let's have a predictable outcome. Then I'm gonna do it, and then now it's $5,000 lost puppies. It's just a whole fiasco, that I haven't had to endure yet. Ain't trying to.
No, our vet is open till 5 o'clock, and they're not open on the weekends. They have an emergency line, but that's their schedule. And they kind of went back and forth with me a minute on her reverse progesterone. They wanted it to be below a 3 on the IDEX. So we sat up there. We waited all day. We did like 4 progesterone tests. She dropped in the middle of the day, but that's what they were trying to prepare me for. They're like, oh, if she drops or goes into labor at night, you're going to have to go to Savannah. And in Savannah, they will do a C-section, but they're going to spare while they do it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, if it's the emergency vets around here, they spay them. They don't even ask. They just do it.
Hell no.
They'll tell you, we'll take the puppies out, but it's a mandatory spay. And if you don't agree to it, they're going to turn you away.
I am shocked.
I told him, I said, we're waiting until her number drops. So I said, I'll sign a form. I'll do whatever. I said, but I'm not going to no emergency vet in Savannah and dealing with that.
Yeah.
How far Savannah to start with?
About an hour.
Yeah, see, that's what we're looking. It's 40 minutes to Little Rock, and then another 20 minutes across town to get to After Hours Vet. So, yeah,
I'm 4 blocks away from my vet, and we're pretty rural, so they have just call and they'll come in and do them, but they have an on-call vet.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I haven't had to, thank God, knock on wood, but
yeah, that's awesome because they were giving me the gray area. They're like, oh, well, and I'm like, we're not playing that.
Yeah. So let's talk developmental stages, like we promised. So them first 2 weeks, I in my brain, I go in kind of 2 week increments.
Me too.
Yeah. Okay. So first 2 weeks, it's got blind, crawling, feeling body heat, right?
Most vulnerable.
Yeah. Right? That's the time that I can't. My mothers won't hardly come out of the box. Only run outside, use the restroom, and right back in with the puppies, boogity boogity.
God bless you.
Yeah.
Mine was looking at me like, bruh, you let me out yet? They're full.
There's still a blessing in that, Bobby, because having the female, like BB was great. Back to Black was great because she would come out and I could bring her down here. Even Akasha, I could bring them down, they could kennel them, and they're not freaking out to get back to the puppies.
Right.
But I've had the moms that freak out, but then they also, as soon as they're with them, they're trampling them, they're nervous Nellies, they're killing them because they lay on them, step on them, those kinds of things. So it's like, I'd almost rather have the mom that doesn't want to be in there, that I just have to force to lay down and feed, than the one that's won't let me.
I figured that out quite quick.
We
left her in there originally, because you want to leave mom in there with him. You want him to be with him as much as possible. And she was stressing herself out so much. She wouldn't lay down. She was just sitting there looking over the top of the rail, like, just staring at him. And she was working herself up to a fever, and she was running 103, throwing her food up and stuff just because she was so nervous. So I, talked to Chris, and we put her in our room and gave her a little chillaxin, and it was beautiful. It's like she knew, like when her tits got full, she was up at the door, like, let me go see my babies.
Yeah, I think that as great for us, and having safe puppies and all that as a C-section is, we're breaking a cycle too, though. So they are really looking at these like, what is that?
Yep.
How did it get here? What do I do with it?
I mean, she was tired the last thing she knew, and then she woke up with a tube down her throat and her gut stapled, and little 8 little monsters all doing the baby bird at her.
Yeah, that's a cold way to wake up. It's gotta be. Yeah. So,
and it takes away a lot of the natural too. A lot of people don't really talk about that with C-sections, but when you do a C-section, you kill a lot of the natural instincts.
Yeah.
I think there's also the first time with Akasha, I don't like to leave puppies when they're whelping. I don't like to leave all the puppies in there, so I put them all in the incubator and usually leave the last one out to get some milk while she's pushing. And she, when she was all done, by the time she was done, I gave her one, and I tried to give another one, and she tried to bite the second one, and I was like, what's going on? And so I'm like, okay, so I put it back, and then I'm like, okay, maybe she's just nervous, whatever. Every time I tried to give her another puppy, she growled at it and was trying to protect the other one from it or something. And it wasn't until I finally probably 2 days later, I was like, maybe it's because she only ever had one puppy on her the entire time. And so I finally, light bulb went off, put all of them in the whelping pen. When she was outside, she came back and she was like, oh, okay. And then she went, but I feel like I interrupted her natural, and I wasn't trying. So now I try to be very cautious of that. Because that was rough. I had to give her ACE because she was cray cray. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
then turned into a good mom, but it took her
Yep.
a little bit.
I think that's what Bobby called chillaxing.
Ace.
Yeah, I like chillaxing. That should be the name for
That's
it.
right.
You know what I mean?
Chillaxing. Yeah. We pulled her out, gave her like 0.2, not even, like
They say
just
bulldogs less than
a small amount, and in 30 minutes she was at 101, like chilling in our room. So
Yeah.
yeah. Just
can't
takes the
really
edge
ask
off
for
a
any
little bit.
more than that.
I think the one thing that helps for me is that I've had other sets of puppies in here. Like I started with dachshunds first, so by the time my first bulldog litter came, she had already seen puppies. She was kind of familiar with what they were and all that. So it was just like, okay, this time they're mine.
Right.
You know what I mean? As opposed to what is this?
Right.
Yeah.
Especially the wiener dogs, you know what I mean? She's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
y'all look different. I look different too.
Yeah. Yeah. She's just like, okay, these ones are mine. And then
Yeah.
I had the puppies we got now. It was their mother's first time, but like I said, she had been around puppies and stuff. So
Sure.
and they've birthed natural. So
Yeah, your Dotson, all the videos I watch, she seemed to be a great mom.
yeah, she is. She is.
You
Like
probably
I
don't have to
said,
worry about her laying on them or anything either, huh?
but even when we had bulldogs, like okay, we had 10, and what I did was they're right here, whelping boxes, and I just used 2 boxes. I put 5 in one box, 5 in another box. I just figured, she don't have 10 nipples, so there's no reason to have all the puppies.
She
in one
doesn't?
set. No.
She have 9?
8.
8? Okay.
Yeah.
Dang, she cobby. They cut out 2
Yeah.
nipples.
She's a short one. She's a pocket. I call her pocket. She's a pocket.
That's right. Nipples are crazy though, bro. Like Agatha's got extra nipples, so she's got 10, and then she's got 2 kickers on her back one, and they actually milk too.
Yeah.
You say kickers.
Yeah, little kickers.
Yeah. I like it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Low life. She only has 9 tits. She's got 5 on one side, 4 on the other.
Rosie's actually got a double. She's got one where the nipple is like this. It's like a double nipple.
See, Agatha's are like that, but hers are a little more spread out. Like I said, she's got.
Side.
Yep.
Yeah. It's some in the back too. One of the juicy ones, and it's a double. So I'm like, whoever gets that one, that's the lotto right there.
That's right.
That's what we want aspirating. Getting too much milk.
Yeah. So, okay, first 2 weeks, most vulnerable. That's the time when I almost want to call the puppy culture thing conventional wisdom, like because was the first thing I thought about was presented to me. The first thing I did, I thought I was doing something. So it may not be, but in my brain, so that's the first 2 weeks. When the next 2 weeks, now
That's where the fun starts.
Yeah. Next 2 weeks we got starting mush, right? 3 weeks.
Week 3,
Yeah.
we put ours on week 3 on the dot.
Yeah. I start if I have a big litter and I feel like they need a little extra, I might try to start them a little earlier. But yeah, usually about 3 weeks.
And so, what's your mush concoction?
Ooh.
Everybody does
We
it
probably got the
different?
same one.
Huh?
I said we
What?
probably
Me?
got the same one.
I don't know because I don't
Doubtful.
use Gina and Chris's. I've always done.
See, everybody got their own.
Yeah, I just do blended. So I use Victor Ocean for the puppy food, and then I put pumpkin, and I make my own milk with because I make my own milk with like evaporated milk and syrup or the corn syrup and I can't think of everything that's in it, but I make my own milk and I put that in with it. Until they're about 4.5 weeks, and I stop using the milk or whatnot. Greek yogurt, that's in it too. Yeah, so
Corn
it's just
syrup,
kind of
huh?
yeah. So when there's it's the Liebergs. I think isn't that what it's called? Liebergs. I'll send you the recipe. It's better than any powder. The pups like it better. So like that first 2 weeks, I was gonna say that's usually right. Well, actually, usually the first day is when I start seeing if I have a pup that's like aspirating or getting too much milk and it's coming up their nose. And to avoid having them have pneumonia down the line, I try to bottle feed. That way, I can kind of get them in a position that they have less likely for it to keep coming out of their nose and stuff. And so I do like Peppa from my BB and Rolls Royce. She was bottle fed.
Never had luck bottle feeding puppies.
Huh?
I never had luck bottle feeding them. I don't know if it's I used the wrong bottle or if I'm expecting it to go different than it goes.
It's probably the milk, yo. I promise you, I never had luck until this milk, and I will send you the recipe. It is Gina sent it to me, and I was like, make your own, and I did, and those pups, yeah. So I think that's the difference, because I never had luck either. So
Okay,
much
so
so
you
that it was
got
like milk
Victor Ocean.
Yeah.
Victor Ocean. You got your homemade milk, pumpkin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, and then I do some probiotic to keep stools. Right.
Uh-oh.
The Fortiflora.
You got a request.
Send me the recipe. I will send it to you. I got you.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Post it.
Just send it to everybody, Casey.
Yeah.
Send it to everybody. I'll just post it. How about that?
There you go.
Yeah,
That way
that
we
sounds
can
good.
all
Yeah.
And what about you,
And
Bobby?
I 3 parts, bro. Nice and simple. We did Diamond Naturals. We keep them on the salmon formula. Diamond Naturals salmon formula, pumpkin, and Greek yogurt, and we do add coconut oil in.
I like the coconut oil.
Coconut oil is a natural antibiotic. It's great for the gut.
Okay.
Natural
okay.
antibiotic, inside and out. They got hot spots. You can put coconut oil on it, and it'll help. Their crusty nose, coconut oil, it helps. I'm a freaking firm believer in coconut oil. Like when we get low, I'm like, babe, coconut oil. Like we can't give them no food without coconut oil.
Now that's
If you have a
cold
salmon,
pressed virgin
oil.
coconut oil, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, that's got to say that because cold pressed virgin coconut oil.
Yep.
You can get the
Non-refined.
You can get like the big ones at Sam's Club for 2 of them for like $8. That's where I get mine at. Otherwise, it's expensive.
It is
Yeah.
expensive as shit. We get that big one that you're talking about at Walmart, and it's like $20.
Okay, yeah. If you have a Sam's Club, it's well worth it. For sure.
Yeah, I mean, we got a Sam's. It's just an hour, the other way.
Yeah, by the time you go there, that's $10.
You
You're not
get-
saving it.
But you can have free shipping if you spend over like $35. So
That's right. That's right.
This is true. This is true.
yeah.
My wife's the frugal one with all that, like Instacart and free shipping, and
Yeah.
I just say what I want and she gets it here.
Yeah.
I need
Yeah.
one of those.
I just trying
She's
to have
great.
it when I need it. I don't really care,
Yep, she's great. She was a huge help throughout this process too. Holy crap!
It's
I
so,
can't,
yeah.
I can't thank her enough. She was up with me every 3 hours helping. She did amazing.
Yeah. What I do is I use kibble for puppies. I think the last time we did it, we used Purina One. I put some pumpkin in there, some NutriCal, and the goat milk, powdered goat milk. But I pulverize the kibble first, and then I hydrate it, let it sit, hydrate it again, and I don't serve it soupy.
No.
You know what I mean? I don't want it coming out their nose, so it's got to be like, like kind
Thicker
of a
the better.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like a porridge.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Which it makes sense. You said the corn syrup. I mean, I can't imagine that NutriCal being much more than corn
No, it's
syrup.
pretty
with-
much that.
with-
Yeah. So it's because that's high fructose, whatever syrup.
with malt
and-
flavoring. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So no, that corn syrup just gives extra calories,
yeah, pretty much. Get them going.
and I think that it helps with where they more palatable. I think they like the taste of it.
Yeah. I also, when the puppies come home, I put a little bit in their mouth and then put them on a titty. I think it makes them just
Do you?
a little.
Gets them all
ever
fired up.
Yeah, a little, hit them with a little sugar, and then give them
Mhm.
something to work with.
Mhm.
That's
Just give them a little bump. It's
Yeah.
like, all right,
Yeah, just a gentleman's amount.
that's right.
Nurture Mate. Breeder's Edge Nurture Mate. Have you ever tried that when they obviously, so I'm whelping naturally, so when they come out, they get that first, and all of a sudden it just jump starts their sucking and put them on mom. They're pros, but it gives them a extra boost of help me.
You said that was Breeder's Edge. What?
The Nurture Mate.
Okay.
It gives
I'm
them an extra
looking it up
boost
right now.
of- I'm trying to think. I keep wanting to say calcium, but that's not it. Help me with the word. Mom's milk, first 48 hours.
Oh, colostrum.
Colostrum.
Colostrum. Oh my gosh. I'm like, C word. Can't come up with it. Yes.
Breeder's
So
Edge.
it gives Extra boost
Say it
of
again.
that.
What's it called?
Say
Nurture Mate. So I use
Mate.
Nurture Mate for the puppies, and I use Oral Cow for the females while they're whelping, because that has the calcium and
Yeah, we got the Breeder's Edge Oxy Mama.
yep, that's great for while they're unless they have too much milk, then I have to back off of it because it helps. Yeah.
Okay, are we talking about
Then
this
I
here?
use Doc Roy's Healthy Bone also. for
This here?
mamas.
Uh-oh.
Yes. The Nurture Mate. The Nurture Flora is like a probiotic. The Nurture Mate is what I use when they first come out.
Right. Okay.
It's and if I have a pup that I feel like is struggling, they can have it, it just kind of keeps boosting their immune system. And so if I have a pup that has, like, Peppa was on antibiotics for 3 weeks just because she had aspirated her amniotic fluid, and I didn't want to have an infection, and so I was also giving her that too, just to kind of boost. She never got pneumonia, so I feel like things work.
You use the calcium, magnesium, zinc pills too for milk. I
Which ones?
think it's a calcium, magnesium, zinc. It's a vitamin if you want to push more milk.
What's the brand? What's the name?
Hold on, I'll go ahead.
I'm better at names than
Yeah. Right.
I use Healthy Bone. Oh, like an actual vitamin.
Oh,
Yeah,
you mean when you say
Okay.
calcium, magnesium, zinc? That's exactly what you mean. Huh?
yeah, that's exactly what I meant.
It wasn't like
He's
in
like,
pill
he
that
said, what's the
doesn't-
name of
So-
it? He goes,
Agatha she was not putting in milk like after 3 days, and she
Hang
get
on.
one of these a day, and
put your
the
prime time
milk
for a
came
second.
in.
Okay.
Nice.
Yep, you can get it at the Walmart, the drugstore, wherever. It's nice and cheap.
How much you give her?
Just one pill a day.
Wherever medicines are sold.
And she went to.
It's
She
like,
went
where's
to.
it?
What was that?
That's the disclaimer voice.
Oh,
When you use this voice, it stays away from lawsuits, confusion, and other things, problems down the road.
You should have probably led the whole conversation with that.
yeah. Let's preface this conversation.
Yeah.
You're not responsible
Yeah.
for your litters. or
The
anything
comments
like that.
made by the participants in this conversation belong to them and them alone. They do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the group.
That's right. Sykes Pups is not held responsible for any misinformation. Or,
Right. What did it say on the football games? No recording, dissemination of this product or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Quality
Okay.
assurance,
Right.
man.
Quality assurance. Exactly.
For
All right,
sure.
so we got our puppy mushes
Mm-hmm.
settled, and right
go
about
get
week
one.
4.
I'd say at 3 weeks, you're also putting in litter boxes.
That's what I was gonna say. That's what I'm saying. The
As
pardon my
soon as
language.
they
The
can
shitstorm's
start
coming.
moving,
It's coming.
yes, because as soon as you start mush, moms start to stop. Most moms,
Yes.
some will, but most moms will stop eating it, and then you have poop everywhere. And so that's where
That is where I messed up this time. No litter box. We will be implementing that next time.
Oh yeah, look at the head.
Aw.
Look at the head. Is that when you're keeping?
He is available.
Okay. Okay.
show your keeper.
Which one?
Yeah,
Oh
Bob-
yeah, that's right, right? Bring 'em,
Bobby
bring
is
'em.
keeping multiple puppies.
Yeah. 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 We're keeping two boys and a female.
2 boys is different.
Yeah. They're opposite ends of the spectrum. I have to.
So we need to see that opposite ends of the spectrum.
There you go. Call him out on his stuff, Casey.
Yeah,
Don't let him get away with it.
I just like seeing them. They're nice pups.
They are. They really are.
Come here, my boy.
I'm gonna put him on prime time so we can.
Yeah, get out of
Yeah.
the screen.
Well, I'm wait. How about I wait till there he's back now? Here we go.
So we got Blackie Chan.
I love that name.
He looks like
he's
Mo,
cool.
man.
He's sick. Big old fat dome.
Oh yeah.
So cool. I love him. Look how big that pup is. What, 12 weeks?
Yep, 12 weeks Wednesday.
Oh
I think
my gosh.
Blackie Chan's what we called any kid that took karate when we were growing up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love him.
Walking out with
So-
their karate pajamas on.
He will be available for all of our pleasure.
Okay. Okay. I see
Come
you.
here, Loco. Come here, Loco. Good boy.
You named that white
He-
one Loco?
Yeah, he knows his name already, too. You say
Does it
Loco
say,
and he
isn't he
starts
the most
moving.
chill one?
Yeah, he's the biggest extremist.
Oh.
Mm.
Here, let me move this chair. I'll get you better.
12 weeks, yo. Oh, good.
Oh yeah.
Look at that.
Ooh.
Oof,
That's
da.
gonna be a big old boy.
That's a Rolls clone.
I can't wait for Beast when you bring him out.
See, I'm not the
Yes.
biggest on Brindle, but I like pied Brindle.
I do, too.
Yeah.
Hey, let's not talk about Brindle.
Oh,
I
my
love
brother.
Brindle.
My brother and
Yeah,
you
I was-
have my favorite Brindles of the Brindles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, my brother's got a girl that she's that lemon Brindle, what they call it.
That's what Bodie is.
Mhm.
Yeah. But the paperwork doesn't have a box you can
That's the
check
girl,
says
right?
lemon Brindle. Come on now.
That's the
I
girl.
know.
Ooh,
Oh, goodness
Big-
gracious.
she looks
Big
thick.
goodness, Nick. Yeah, big fat muzzle.
Her forearm's as big as yours. That's a
I
compliment
ain't
to
a
her.
big guy, but
That's a compliment to her, not a yeah.
that's right.
Oh yeah.
Oofda. They look like got beautiful coats too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
they
do.
do.
Nice and shiny.
Mm-hmm.
We've only given him one bath.
Okay.
I'm not big about bathing my pups.
I'm not either.
We pretty
Yeah,
much bathe them before they go to their new homes.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's what we do.
I think everybody deserves a nice clean puppy for the price they're paying.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But
Yep. For sure.
Yeah.
I'll show you Chris and Gina's. You want to see her too?
run it.
Yes, I do.
Get a little insider information.
She's super sweet.
What was that?
That was a burp. My bad. I've been shitting and puking all day, so
No, you're
I'm
good,
getting-
Bobby. You're
I
good.
got a little gas going on.
And your puppy, they're how old now?
They turned 12 weeks on Wednesday.
Oh, I
Okay.
love her because she has a sleeve.
Right.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah, she
Like
got
a
a white sleeve and a
Like
black
a tattoo
sleeve.
sleeve.
Yeah, look at her. So is the
No
other side
way.
mostly white too, or no?
No, she's mostly
Or just
uh,
okay.
yeah, she's
Okay.
black. Well, she's really a light
Now hold
brindle.
on,
You
hold
just
on a
can't see
second.
it.
Hold on.
She has a lot of chrome though.
Hold on. The
Yeah.
$1 million question is she black with a white sleeve or white with a black sleeve?
She's brindle with the white sleeve. You can't tell right now. Here, look.
Oh, she is
Let me see.
brindle.
Yeah.
Yeah, just very lightly.
All right, so I guess that makes my question a little less funny, but it's all right.
No, she's great.
No worries. No
Yeah,
worries.
she's cool.
I got plenty. I got plenty of corny
Chris-
jokes. I can keep them coming.
Chris
You know what I
and
mean?
Gina said you could just send her to me.
I hear you on that.
Work that out.
She's cool. She's been one of my wife's favorites, but it's like I told her, I said, you're not allowed to have a favorite until they pick.
I get
My Aunt
it.
Nita says you got beautiful animals.
Thank you. Thank you.
Aw,
She's available.
she's a cutie. I like her little eyebrow.
Mm-hmm.
I like her
Oh, yeah.
spindling too.
I like
Pretty.
Pied Brindle. I really do.
She is a carbon copy of her mama.
And her mom's name's Agatha Trunch. What is it?
Agatha
Trunchbull.
Trunchbull.
How'd you
She's a
come
big
up
old
with that?
dyke shot fund Olympian.
I was just gonna say, which is kind of funny because if you think of Trunchbull and her body shape, and you think of Agatha, she's more narrow at the bottom and then like really broad shoulder, really
It's a perfect
Hold
name
on.
for her.
It's a person?
Yeah, it's from Matilda. She was the head lady
the
at the
mean
school
lady
You're right.
that throws the
right.
shot.
Yeah.
that throws them in the chokey.
Yes.
You know what's another good name for a dog like that? Whatever. It's Marla Hooch
Marla Hooch.
from League of Their
Yes.
Own.
I love that. I used to
Yeah.
do an impersonation, which I'm not proud of.
I love that movie.
But I used to have my hair down like that, and I look up. Yeah, Marla Hooch.
I love that movie. I love that movie. That was
Yeah.
Rosie's character, right? Or no, that was the bug-eyed lady.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That was
That's-
the power. That was the cleanup hitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you,
Yeah.
bro? Talk about your puppy mush. You gotta say
Yeah.
something over there. I ain't gonna let you just sit around. You know what I mean?
What do you mean, man? Pumpkin, kibble, water, mix it up, give it to them,
It can be that simple.
and they love it.
It can
What do you
be
mean?
that simple. No, that's yeah. I think the part we seldom acknowledge is a lot of stuff we do is extra.
Mhm.
Most of it's not necessary. You know what I mean? So that's cool. There's that too. I like it.
Yeah. I think with
So-
everything you add because you're like, okay, so last time I got diarrhea when I switched them over, you had the weaning diarrhea, right? So then you add this and hope that works. And so I think everything added, and then you probably have way more than what you need, but it's working. So you don't want to take anything away.
Right.
Yeah.
So
And
how
then-
important? Go ahead.
What was that? That stuff in the red tube you gave me. Remember?
Oh, Nutrical
A NutriCal. There you go.
and Nutrical. Yeah.
Yeah, Nutrical.
Glorified
Great.
Karo syrup.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how important do you guys think routine is? Being able to landmark what happens when, what you did last time, and just, you know, does it help overall in being able to see what you got, what's going on, and make, you know, or is every time different?
Every time is it's always an evolution. So you're always like, I think with every litter, I am okay. Next one, I want to do this different because this was a nightmare, and then I do that different, and then all of a sudden something else is a nightmare. I'm like, okay, now I need to do this different. And so I don't think I've ever done anything exactly from start to finish the same. But I think that's
So wing it.
to go.
It's one of them things you just wing it. You got to play what you're given.
Yep. And you just kind of find what works for you. What works for you doesn't work for the next all the time. Now that I just am blessed enough to have a job where I work from home, I'll be able to incorporate more things that I wasn't able to do when I was working, away, an hour away. And, so I was gone for 11 hours, 12 hours a day. That's
Yeah.
hard, so it's hard to implement certain things. So,
What's
like I said,
what's something that you're looking forward to being able to do that you weren't previous?
kennel training earlier. So I think it's hard. You can't ask a puppy to do that, and it's just setting them up for failure to kennel train when you can't let them out, at 2 hours and then at 4 hours, and they have to be able to build that up, and you can't do that if I'm working however many hours away,
Yeah.
I'm gone that many hours. So, and it's not really, you can't just do it on the weekends because it's not consistent. So I'm excited to do, and I probably will start because I just want them to have a taste of it. But usually, you don't have all your pups go at 8 weeks anyway. So anything after 8 weeks will definitely be getting kennel trained. I was able to do it once I started the last 2 pups kennel trained, and I guarantee you can ask their owners, and they were very pleased with the fact that they were already kennel trained and started on their actual house potty training, not just litter box training. So
Yeah. Okay, and you guys do litter box. You guys both said litter box.
I didn't incorporate a litter box this time. Next time I will.
What'd you do? What'd you do?
Pick up shit.
That was me, man. Litter
You
box
go in
sound
this
right.
you go in this Joker in the morning and it's like a freaking someone blew up Mr. Hanky, bro. It's just everywhere. I'm like,
Yeah.
God bless, bro. Were y'all making freaking finger paints with it? Like, what were you doing?
Yeah, they walk through it and track it around. Yeah. Yeah.
They'll go on one side of the box. I'll give them that. They'll go on one side of the box and they sleep on the other. But the next morning when it's just a sea hair of daylight shining, they're up and ready to go and
Yeah.
going ham, running through it. And
I haven't used the litter box. I just start with the whole whelping area covered with pads and take them away till at the end there's just one. If there's a lot of puppies, 2. You know what I mean?
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
do they not tear them up? You've never had to tear them up?
Well, they have enough litter mates and toys and stuff.
Toys, yeah.
You know what I mean? And once they realize kind of that that's what they do there, they do that and get away from it.
Oh my gosh! Please tell me your secrets, because I can't have a pad in there to save my life. Or it will get eaten. They will eat
No.
it.
Blackie Chan grabs it and starts shaking his head.
Yeah. And even better if it already has pee and poop on it. I don't know.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that makes more flavor.
Mm-hmm. Little recycled salmon.
Yeah. Upcycled, recycled. Yeah. I
Right.
mean, I don't know if that's something that the wise men will tell you to do, but it works for me.
Wow.
And like I said, I just cover the whole area and then start taking them away till there's just 1 or 2, depending. You know what I mean? And
So my plan was to get one of the black trays from one of those wired kennels and just throw alfalfa pellets in it and let them get the hang of it. I'm gonna start doing it outside on the turf now that they're a little older and see if they'll go to it. But I think I waited too long, to be honest with you. Right there. Yep. Alfalfa pellets.
Rabbit tray.
Yep.
Okay.
You can get different sizes. So for the whelping pen, I use this size. For their puppy play pen that they graduate to, I use a bigger size, and then just have to use one. And I've done multiple ways where I have where I cut like a what do you call it? Like a shelf, like a wire shelf over top.
Yeah.
Mm.
And this is more to clean too, because then you're cleaning the wire shelves and you're scrubbing those. And I haven't really found a great. There is actually a company that makes a really cool one. I think it's called Little Wolves or something. I have to double check, but it's becoming more popular to have litter boxes for your litters, and so I think there's more companies coming out with something that you can actually just buy all put together. But yeah, so that's it.
Love My Pups guy sells a poopy rack system.
A what?
Litter rack, little system he makes.
Okay.
Yeah. Same
Is it
principle.
big enough for big pups, or is it more for like his little guys?
I've never used it. But we'll find out next week.
Hell
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what we will do.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Who's dropping? Rosalinda?
Oh no, not that, not that.
Okay.
Not that. I said next week. Our next guest. I never talk about it ahead of time, but I will.
I hear you.
We're gonna have we're gonna have James Chopping. Love my pups.
Sweet.
And he makes and sells a litter type contraption where it has a tray like that with a grate. You know what I mean? So they kind of poop through it.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
But,
I wanted to keep these ones outside. You know, we got a big enough area for them outside, but it's too much shit out there, bro. Coyotes and
Yeah.
freaking big ass owls and shit.
Big old one.
Can you make something to where there's a roof and then it that not be or not?
I'm gonna get some PVC and put I've got a tarp that I can kind of make a roof out of on it, and we'll see how that goes. I just
Sure. Yeah.
nah. I'll keep them
Yeah,
inside and pick up the poo.
Yeah.
I get it.
And we got stray dogs that run around here all the time. Like Georgia, our county specifically doesn't have leash laws, so we get all kinds of
That's
That's
fun.
all right. We don't have leash laws, but we got AR-15 laws. I'll tell you that.
Ooh-wee.
Like-
Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. The comments
It's
made by
crazy.
Bobby Kaysen belong to him and him alone.
That's right. That's
I'm
right.
just playing. It's the same thing here. If you live
It's
in
crazy,
town,
dude.
if you live in town here, you can have 4 dogs. That's it. Right? Outside of city limits, it's the wild, wild west, and dogs run loose and all that. I had one of my girls was in heat, and I called the animal controller. This dog's around here. Say, I don't want to. He's like, well, if you feel like it's a problem, you have to do what you have to do. I'm like, what? What'd you just say to me?
I had the same conversation with animal control. He said if he doesn't have a tracking collar on and he's aggressive on your property, you got to do what you got to do. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, if he don't have, if he ain't breathing, he ain't gonna have a story. So
So I told my neighbor, the first time a neighbor actually really came up and talked, whatever. I was like, I don't know who that dog that is, but he's about to get fixed. I said, I will put him in a crate and take him to the vet and fix him. Turn him loose.
chillaxing.
Yeah, turn him loose when bring him back. Turn him loose. All right, buddy. Now run around and have a good time. All I care,
Mhm.
But I can't see myself just, I don't know.
I don't know. They come through here a little hot to trot during heat season, bro. We've had them. I shit you not, right at our door, looking in our door at us. We got up one morning and this damn dog was looking in the door at us after he done shit on our porch.
Mm.
Actually, done slipped in the shit one morning. It was right on the corner of the step, and whoop.
He said, "Where's Teresa? I know she's in there. Let me talk to her."
It's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Let's see here. Okay, so that's 2 weeks, 4 weeks. We got poop starting. We talked about that. 6 weeks. Now they're starting to be fun. Now they're starting to be able to be. They're little sponges now.
So- When do you wean?
I wean. Start them at 4 weeks. Well, we actually, when the mush gets introduced, that's kind of that's the beginnings of that. I'm not hard on it yet. Mom's still allowed to be in there as much as she cares to be, but about 4 weeks, start pulling her out for longer. You know what I mean? That's probably the part of it that I'm the worst at, to be honest with you, because they're 6 weeks now, these puppies, and mom was at the door crashing, bam, 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 let me in with my babies, like. So, she's not
I
coming
give
in.
them like a week. I give them like a week transition time between 4. So like when they start mush on 3 weeks, they still are pretty, because I do very minimal introductions. I don't do full fledged, so they're still on mom, and then they get a little bit. And then when I get about 3.5, 4 weeks, that's when I start keeping mom away on purpose so that they're hungry, so they'll actually start eating more mush. So between 4 and 5 weeks is where I'm really keeping mom longer term, time or whatever. And by 5 weeks, they're pretty much, because by 6 weeks, I want them on solid, so that they have 2 weeks on solid before they go to their homes.
That's right.
So you make mush for 2 weeks? 3
Well,
weeks?
so I make mush for really just the 2.5 to 3, right? Till about 4, maybe just a week, if that. Then I just start doing kibble soaked, so that
Right.
they're eating, and then I just do less and less soak time, so that it naturally is getting more and more hard. And then after they eat, I'll let them have like access to kibble that they can kind of, put in their mouth and whatever. And then when I can see that they'll start going to that, then I'm like, okay, we got this. So then, yeah, but that's usually about 5 weeks.
And they start getting a mom's bowl too. That's another way I kind of know, like, all right, it's, they're eating on that,
Sure.
Yeah.
They're pretty
that's
good
the
at
only-
telling you where they're at with their
Yeah.
development. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anybody have a mom regurgitate her food for them? Drives me insane.
No, I
I
haven't.
don't know if she did it for that reason, but she was definitely regurgitating her food for the first week or so.
Oh no, it's like when they get to the point where they're starting to eat. I have a couple moms that will go and eat and drink a ton of water and then like she'll just cry,
Lay it out in front of them.
Yep. And then she goes in, and it's not even like how they usually have to pump to throw up. It's just and it just all comes out. And I'm like, no, because they're on a different food than mom. So I'm like, no, like try to get it all.
It's like a natural mush.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's what it's for, right? But
Yeah, that's what mush is supposed to simulate.
Right. I just don't want the whiteheads to get tear stains, so that's why I'm like pretty strict on the Victor Ocean.
For sure.
Yeah.
I've never seen tears. We talked about the other day. I haven't seen tear stains in the whelping box yet. But now that you said it,
though, right?
Huh?
I sent you that picture. I have a a little girl that had tear stains while on milk, not even on mush yet.
Damn.
Yeah.
Never had seen that before. And as soon as I was able to switch her over, cleared up.
Yeah, see. And whiteheads are a thing on bulldogs that I'm really drawn to. Always have been.
Yeah.
Some people hate it, but I love it. I feel like it makes the head jump off the shoulders. Whiteheads.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it makes that head jump off the shoulders. But I only have problems with tear stains if I've been lazy and keeping and just wiping. You know what I mean? I've never had I guess, food or dirty water or whatever mineral in the water reactive tear stains. Haven't had dealt with that yet.
Well, and I think it really does depend on sometimes location and what is in your water. I think that's huge. I think that sometimes it's in the food, different foods, and that's why I do the Victor Ocean. But yeah, I have pet homes that don't change anything. They have different water, and then they start getting tear stains. So I think it's a combination, of things. But
I found it on city water that city water produces tear stains.
Really? Okay. And see, I'm on city water, and I don't have that, but obviously different city water, right? So
right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm on city water, but
on the High Pro, the Victor High Pro, we had crazy. Dang, I thought y'all were in 2 locations. Would you just show up? My boy teleported?
Now we live nearby. He comes to my house for this. My internet's better, but it's even failing us a little bit tonight. So it's all fun.
That's all right.
Yeah.
That's that contra signal.
Hang on a second.
Can you make the screen bigger?
Hang on. Let me
Yeah, you guys just need to sit in together. It's better like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, on the High Pro Plus, we were getting yeah, we can hear you. We were getting tear stains too.
Well, and that's what mom was on.
Get you a chair. What's this?
Oh, I can hear myself.
I'm hearing an echo.
Yeah.
Is it echoing? Well, I turned the microphone off now. How does it work? Better?
Better?
I don't know. Nope.
Yeah, I don't hear it now.
You hear it?
He said no.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, Casey's got 2 yeahs going.
Give me
Yeah,
a
yeah.
You got, yeah.
Man, mess up the old television. How about now?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Ooh.
Yep,
That's good. There you go.
that's good.
Anita said we got it. I think we got it now, Anita. It's all good. Yeah. All right. So you got mom weaned by 5 weeks. 5 weeks, you said?
Yep. 5 weeks. Yep. On solid by 6.
We were done by 4.
Man, I be look.
And mom can choose to do it earlier, of course. Yeah. For sure.
She was already, you know what I mean? So I was like, they're good.
I'll be having
Yeah.
puppies that are on dry food with teeth, jaws crunching, and still trying to suckle.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, but
Those
then
poor titties.
I have my 6-month-old pups right now, the BB Rolls Royce pups, and I have Stefani who's due in a week and a half, and I caught them trying to, and she doesn't even have milk coming out yet, but they were trying. I'm like, get away from her. So
can we see a puppy?
still trying to what?
Can we see a puppy or something?
Oh my goodness!
Come on, you got puppies. I gotta see them. You did call Bobby out on the carpet.
Yeah, but
And they said it. I wasn't going to say nothing, Casey.
Look at your chair, bro.
oh, see, they're gonna start barking now. Hold on.
Do they know that I'm the younger brother or not?
You're the younger, wiser.
Yeah, for sure.
Sit on Big Brother's lap. We'll get a Christmas card going.
So we won't be doing
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
Nice.
That's cool though that y'all are as close as you are.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
you guys.
nice boom boom right there.
He's not a puppy. Hold on.
He can identify as whatever he wants.
2025.
Yeah, it's a puppy, all right.
There we go. Ooh. Ooh, when they throw that head, huh? Ooh, hey. With an eye patch.
Hell yeah. That's
What's-
rolls to back to black?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so.
Oh,
Look at the cheeks.
yeah. He's a cat.
Yeah, he is. I like that eye.
Yeah.
Okay. Ready?
No
Hell
tear
yeah.
stains. No tear stains.
A little bit, but it's because I had to have on. He just took out my computer. Awesome. I'm out of breath. And I'm gonna go have to get a sister because she's gonna keep barking. 1 second.
Okay.
Nice.
We know how that goes. I'm surprised you ain't heard mine.
Yeah.
My boy Gator, he's a friggin' idiot. That buddy could hear a fly fart and he,
Right?
fuck.
Yeah. What's up?
Camera?
Yeah. She went to go get somebody else?
What's that?
Look at the trophies in the bag. That's gonna be
Oh
you.
yeah.
You're gonna have it like that.
Eventually.
Huh.
Eventually. I missed the past 2 shows. I was supposed to go to Atlanta and
Oh
there was
yeah.
there was another one in Carol. Look at y'all getting it.
Mm,
Hell yeah, like a rhinestone cowboy.
yeah. I don't wear boots though. I don't do boots. I'll wear a cowboy hat and chucks.
That's all right. He can crock it out.
Yeah. Hey, or if anybody don't like boots, I'll give you a cheat code and it's church shoes.
That's right.
Square tip leather. Ain't no. I mean, what you looking at my leg for? You know what I mean? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I wear boots. I can't say nothing.
Always.
I got shit kicking in my soul.
I grew up. My uncles wore the hats. My grandfather, whatever. But I never wanted the boots.
I wear boots. I don't do cowboy hats. So I'm not a cowboy. I'm a redneck. I don't get on horses.
I don't go either. But I don't do either. But I will go to a concert and dance me a cumbia and Yeah, that's what I will do. And I will sit here and keep this hat on too.
That's right.
Yeah. So we talked about crate training.
Yeah.
And one thing I do, I won't tell anybody my puppies are crate trained. I'll say that I take their puppy playpen and they have the points where you can take it apart. I'll zip tie a crate there, and depending how big the puppy's litter is, how big the crate, and just kind of leave the door open, throw a blanket over it so they have a little area that's a little sleeping spot. So by the time they go somewhere, they're comfortable in one.
Mm-hmm.
I won't say I close the door. If I do, it's very seldom. Definitely not at first.
Right.
Yeah.
So they have some familiarity with it when they, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we've gotten some feedback on R2 that we've played so far, and they've done really, really good with their transitions.
That's what's up. And
It's always nice to hear.
so what do you have in mind? You mentioned crate training, Casey. What exactly are we talking here?
Like, what do you mean?
You said you wanted to crate train your puppies, like to go in there in crates and like
just to be comfortable and to go in the crates, to eventually like sleep at night in the, like just so that when they go to depending on, some owners want to sleep with them in the bed. That's fine. Some want to have them in a crate at night because they're home all day and that's their crate time is at night. Fine. But I want them just to be comfortable in the crate without, and it really is a pretty smooth transition. Typically I crate in pairs at first, and then I'll separate from that so they get used to it with the buddy. And then and like with these guys, because I was away for so long but they were older, I basically did what you did. I zip tied those panels, 3 of them, so just a square outside the side door of a 48-inch kennel, and then put a litter box that fit. Those litter boxes fit perfect right in there. And so they were still able to use the litter box, but then sleep and whatever in their kennel. So that's kind of how their introduction to kennel, but I want to not have to do the litter box. I want them to be able to hold it, learn how to start holding it, and then they'll get out and they'll go to the point. So, yeah. So I'm going to have to buy a lot more kennels is what's going to happen.
Yeah. Sounds like it's going to take a few kennels. Sounds like it's going to take a few kennels.
Yeah.
And then the last 2 weeks. I had a guy call yesterday. Right, my puppies are 6 weeks tomorrow. They're wiener dogs. Guy's like, I want the puppy today. You can't have the puppy today. He goes, but I really want the puppy today. I'm like, but you really can't have the puppy today. I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
I was like, 8 weeks. I said, and if 8 weeks that's what we're gonna do. And if you can't appreciate that, whatever, you can't wait 2 weeks, then maybe you need to get back on the market and find you something you can take home today. But this is not the one.
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
He said, well, why? He tries to question me to where I would end up saying yes to him. Why? Are they eating solid food? Like, yeah. Are they weaned? Yeah. I'm like, but those last 2 weeks are important.
Yeah.
They're still learning. They're still learning cues from their litter mates. They're still, all of that is huge as they get older. So yeah. No. And that's pretty much, I think, what that time is. It's the time for them to explore in not a new environment. So we're not adding fear on top of things. So they're already comfortable in their environment and they're able to explore, but they feel safe doing so. I think it helps building the confidence. I think you can kill a puppy's confidence by letting them go home too soon, because you rip them out of what they're comfortable in, where they're feeling confident, and you're putting them in a new environment where things are new. And if they aren't built up enough, they can lose everything that they have, even naturally. And I mean, I think that's why part of people even keep them 10 weeks, sometimes 12 weeks, And I see the benefit of that. I also see the benefit of them going to their home and establishing those relationships too. You just really have to have individuals get your pups that will put the work in to make sure that they continue to build that confidence.
Do you prefer, or do you have a preference of puppies going to a home where there's already dogs, or only dog, or
Preference, no other dogs. And the only reason why is because the only dogs that have ever been returned is because there was an issue between dogs, and it might not even been my dog's fault, but because the other dog didn't like, and this is the last pup to go or to come into the home, that's the one that's going to get rehomed. And so I always like the homes that don't have any other dogs or any other cats, anything, because it's an easy placement, and I feel like if they get another dog, that dog will be the first one to go versus my dog, if that makes sense. So, but most people have at least one dog. I mean, so that placement doesn't happen very often, and for the most part, it works. It's just,
do you
So-
think that if their other dog is of certain stature, certain breed, you know what I mean?
the questions I will ask, especially depending on what pup they're interested in, I'll ask them, is your dog, your current dog, dominant? If it's a male, I might really try to suggest a female, just because I think that they do better. In my own experience, male and female do better together. Neutered, not neutered, it doesn't matter. I mean, it does, but I just think that opposite sex, if you have two dogs, having a male and female works better. Not that people don't make male work, female work. I see it all the time. It does. But my chances are greater of it working if we have opposite sex. So
That's right.
what I'll suggest, and if they say, no, I just want males, okay, what kind of male is your dog right now? How often have they been around puppies? How often have they been around other dogs? What things have they displayed,
Yeah.
Does the hair raise on the back of their, do they get defensive? Do they get really cocky and invasive of the other dog's space? Want to know all those things, because I can help try to curve some of that and have them help them set boundaries. So, but yeah, definitely no other animal in the home is the best, but that very rare happens.
What say you, Bobby?
What's that?
I said, what do you say?
I'm kind of right there where Casey's at. Ask questions, make sure what they have is going to work with the puppy. One of our puppies went to an only home, so that was nice on this litter. And then one of them, she's got dogs too, so the other puppies blended right in with a family of bulldogs. So I really think it's just situational. You can kind of tell if somebody knows their dog just by how they're talking to you, and if they can't articulate their dog's behavior to you, you kind of already know where you're at. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. In my Rolls Akasha litter, I had a pup go to New York. Wasn't there more than an hour, and the guy told me that he couldn't keep it because his American Bully female that was like 9, I think she's 9, what was trying to go through the door to kill it, couldn't. Yeah. And I was like, yeah.
Wow.
And normally I'd be like, okay, I think you're overreacting. I heard this dog over the phone, and it was nothing. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I will talk to the shipper. And so I had to arrange a shipper, picked him up in 3 days because he had already left back down south. So he picked him up and then took him. It was Cordell. Cordell picked him up, thank God, and took him down to Tennessee. I had it all arranged for somebody else, but yeah, and it was not that pup did nothing,
Right.
So,
it just showed up.
Yeah.
And the guy said, I've never thought she'd be like that. She's so, and so sometimes you just don't know until.
Right.
So that's the scary part about them being across country, but I made it work.
Yeah. So one thing we kind of talked about off camera that I think it bears airing out or talking about is people having the color preferences with these dogs, that they come in so many different colors and patterns and everything, and people have in their mindset they want that puppy.
Right. So, can I talk a little bit about the temperament testing?
Yes.
So I do temperament testing right around. Okay, they want you to do it like 7 weeks. I like to do it like 6 weeks just to get kind of, that's usually when people are trying to pick their pups. And so I try to give them some information that to try to help them pick. The Badass Breeder, she raises doodles and golden doodles, and she does like service dog type stuff. And so she does the temperament testing, and she can pretty much tell people like, this is the best dog for you. And not that there's not some of that, like, no, I want that one, but they all look alike. So she can really do that because, no, I want the golden one over there, not the golden. I mean, they look identical. So she can really say this one's going to be, temperament's going to fit your situation more. And they listen and they're like, oh, okay, perfect. Okay, I don't care. I just want a puppy. Our people from birth.
I want a chocolate Merle.
The moment they see,
I want a chocolate Merle, or I'm going somewhere else.
Yeah, but right. Or the moment they see, like, you could have people on the wait list, right? And the moment they see the picture of the litter together, like, I want that one. No personalities, no, and it's great. Okay, so what I've learned to do, because I'm like, well, but I don't know if that's going to be a good fit for you. At the end of the day, it's their choice, right? So now I use that temperament testing to set them up for success, saying, okay, this is the pup I would have recommended for you for what your lifestyle is like, but you want this one, and that's fine. But these are the things you're going to have to work on. These are the things you're going to have to understand about this puppy to make him successful because it's not just an easy peasy thing. Now you're putting a puppy that's high energy into a very low energy house. So these are the things you're going to have to do. And are you willing to do that? And because you have to be, I think as breeders, we have to be advocates we have to advocate for our puppies, and
For sure.
yeah. So that's part of the temperament testing. You can call it what you want. I mean, people do it and are not as formal about it. Just watching, you can kind of tell what puppies, stays back, what puppy, rushes to you every time, what puppy kind of watches everybody else, and says, oh, okay, that looks good. And then does it, which puppies startle the fastest, which ones recover the best, all the different things. I mean, we can do that. It doesn't have to be as formal as temperament testing, just paying attention, but yeah. So the temperament testing thing that I go through, it just helps break down, okay, so this was the reaction that you got. Now this is what that means. And that helps, but so yeah, they get the puppy they want. We just have to help them. That puppy fit
help
in.
navigate them. Yep.
Yep.
I like that because I have dachshunds too. Same thing, and they're worse. They will put out a Facebook listing that says, "I want a short-haired chocolate dapple puppy, and I want it to be a mini." Okay, like that's very very specific. You know what I mean? Like you could be passing up a lot of good dogs while you find your Goldilocks dog, but if that's what you want. That's what you want. I'm not knocking you, but
I'm guilty of that myself.
That short-haired chocolate Merle dog that you're after may be not the best, So
Yeah.
I got a lilac tri in there. I had to have a lilac tri bulldog, bro. Had to have one. We got him.
Still got him, huh?
Yeah, he's a crackhead.
Yeah.
Crackhead.
But you love that crack.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I
he's
got a story.
He's something.
There's a guy here, local. It's about 10 minutes, 15, 20, half hour away from me. It's where he lives, out in the nowheres, right? He has dogos. He raises dogos from Argentina. Like he has the Lacocha blood and all that. Like
That's the one that killed that puma, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
His dogs come from those dogs. He goes over there like every year. Their family and him are friends and all that.
right? And my first oldie got ran over. She's gone. I got no dog, and I'm just I'm. My wife's like, we gotta get you a dog. You know what I mean? And she said, you've been looking at these dogs, whatever. So she calls the guy, see if they have puppies. And he's like, we have puppies. And she goes, okay, well, when how do we pick one or whatever? He's like, you don't pick one. He says,
He picks it.
Right. Because they're working dogs and all, and I get it. But my wife didn't understand this at the time. She's like, I don't want that. I just want whatever you're gonna give me, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm buying a puppy. I want to pick my puppy.
So she told me, and I was like, what? I said, first of all, nice, thank you. Right? And then I was like, what? I'm like, you went to the right place and everything, but you did what? You told the guy what? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's a reason for it. You know what I mean? And when I told her that, I said, you gotta see what these dogs do.
I mean, it's a dogo. They're all white. They're all massive. They all work. So
yeah,
it's better to let the breeder who knows his puppies and knows his blood tell you which puppy would best fit your home.
Yes, even though
and being 100%, it would be best for us to be able to do that also.
That's what I was going to say
because we know our pups better than anybody.
That's right.
But the reality is, it's never going to work that way.
Reality is, most people are going to do what my wife did.
Yeah. For sure. I mean, what if you went to a Mercedes dealership and you were trying to buy a G-Wagon and they were like, oh, check out this Kia.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
No, I want the G-Wagon.
No, actually, no, you can't have the G-Wagon. That is, personally, you can't handle the G-Wagon.
The same vehicle, just different colors. It has one in puke green, and you want the black one, black on, whatever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want that one that's puke. No, I want this one. This is the fancy one. This is the one that I'm attracted to. This is, so it could be the same vehicle.
In my car to drive over here. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's a lot of misconceptions with selling puppies, especially versus us in the pet homes. They think color dictates price, and it shouldn't be like that. It should be quality dictates price. Doesn't matter if they're black and white, if they're all fucking white. The quality's there. That's where the price should be. You shouldn't be upcharging a dog because he's lilac tri. You know what I mean?
I've never priced my dogs by color. I do price them by pick order, though.
Yeah, for sure.
And the sad reality is that usually lines up with the color. Even though that's not my intention, that's just kind of how it works out. Like with these, I had 2 Merle puppies with these dachshunds. First 2 to go. First the long-haired, then the short-haired, and now I have the 2, the plainclothes ones that I honestly like better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm looking at it through a different set of eyes. So.
Yeah. I've been trying to educate some of the buyers. We've had a lot of traction on these puppies, but nobody wants to pay for the quality. They're like, oh, they're not even colored up. And I'm like, no, they're not. They're going to be twice the size of your colored up dog. Like, that's why they're priced the way they're priced.
But black is a non-traditional bulldog color. So
I know, it's a rare color.
Yeah.
I will say though, like I used to cringe at the idea of having all black and white litter just because I had that one time and it was hard because they all looked alike and it was hard to sell. Variety always does a little bit better just because there's something for everybody. But with that, it's easier to persuade somebody to go with a pup that probably fits their life a little bit better. But yeah, I would say things have actually changed where I have people asking about this last litter. I had 2 blues.
You did. You got 2 blues out of a damn brindle and a black and white.
Who am I? Oh yeah. So I had 2 blues, and they were not
Panda, right?
Yeah, Panda and Akasha. And Akasha is a double dominant, so she's not going to have any brindle. Double dominant black, so she's covered. Yeah, the 2 blues, which is a surprise. I had the black and white ones go first. Kind of like the blues went kind of right in the middle, but
That's
yeah.
nice.
Yeah, I mean, it surprised me, but I do feel like I have a lot more people saying they like the black and white. So I think it's kind of coming around because they don't. I think it's kind of like with anything. As we start seeing less and less brindle because we're seeing more and more rural, people are going to start wanting the brindle. It's just going to be a continuous phase of what's popular, what they don't see anymore. Brindle is pretty much going to be rare, or black and white is going to be rare because everybody's shooting for these other colors, and now
That's
that we
right.
can control it because we can check to see who carries what, and we can say, okay, I am going to keep this female from this, and I'm going to put these two together. Then I'll have all lilacs. It used to be where you kind of just shot in the dark. You hope that they carried something, but now we can, and that's why I just say nothing's rare because we can literally plan to
find it.
Generation, yeah.
That's true.
I can remember a time when brindle dogs were something that I hardly ever saw, like just in general. And I'm not even talking about bulldogs. I'm talking about pits in people's yard and everything. I can remember the first time I started seeing blue pits. And I say pits, I didn't have them, but where I grew up, that's what people had. You had a Rottweiler or something like that, a pit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I didn't see blue pits until I was in high school, I want to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
That's when that blue nose craze really started taking over.
yeah.
Blue nose, red nose.
Mm-hmm. I remember like it wasn't nobody's business. My buddy's brother-in-law, he went out
Red
and
nose pit.
dropped change on a big blue bully. I'm like, God bless.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. So one more question, one more topic, one more just
Una mas.
right? And no prescription answers. This is you gotta get real with this one. What are you looking for in the puppy you keep? And at what stage are you identifying that puppy and setting it aside?
Okay, so I think what I look for in my keeper depends on what I did the breeding for. If I did that breeding to add bone and head, I'm looking for the biggest bone, the biggest head dog because why am I going to keep a dog that looks like the mom and didn't add anything when, even though I like the way she looks, I did that breeding for a purpose.
You got the mom, you don't need her.
Yeah. What pup best matches the purpose of that breeding? That's the one I'm looking at keeping. And usually, I mean, you can start seeing it early and it can get confirmed. I still doubt myself quite a bit. And so I'm always asking opinions and that kind of thing. Like, hey, which one do you like? Why, because especially if I have two, like my Rolls Akasha litter, I had two blue and white females, looked almost identical. One had a tail, one didn't. Head's a little different, but one was a little bit, and that was kind of what Gina had came back to me, and she's like, what did you do? And I said, to add mass. Well, then you get the biggest one. You get the one that has the biggest bone. And so I got, and mind you, they were both decent. One was just a slightly bit bigger, and that's what I chose. So, and I think you have to remind yourself, why did I do this breeding?
What about temperament wise?
100%, because that's what the last couple letters have been, is temperament. And that's been huge because I've dealt with the females that don't get along with other females, and I've dealt with some high energy. When I started, I was a lot like the gargoyle, and I just feel like the prey drive is just not for me. I need something a little bit more mellow, chill. And so, and my customers, that's what they're looking for. They're not looking for the high drive dog. So, yeah, temperament, 100%. I think that's number one. And it's almost a given at this point with the dogs that I'm putting together. So now we're looking at the other things,
So I understand what you're looking for, but how are you identifying it?
How am I identifying it? I was just looking at it.
Earlier, you described the puppy that I'm always kind of drawn to, which is the puppy that's not the first out of the box,
Mhm.
But we'll watch them for a second and then come on out of the box. I want the
Yeah,
kind of
so I would lie to you if I'm telling you, okay, so I don't like the ones that are constantly, like, I don't like the ones that are constantly looking for me every time I enter the room, if we're talking about that. But guess who I kept? I kept the one that's always looking. So I can't even talk. Like, so Peppa, she was the one I had to bottle feed. So that's partly why she was like that. I think that had a lot to do with, you know what I'm saying? And she kind of grew out of it for the most part. Now she ignores me as I'm screaming her name to get downstairs for the tornado, like she's walking away. Um, so I mean, she's kind of grown out of that. But so if we're talking about that, yeah, I want the pup that's a little bit more. I want confidence, but I don't want the one that's blowing through blowing up, like pouncing on the thing as soon as I walk in. I want one that's quick to recover when it's scared. Because for the most part, a confident dog is a dog that really doesn't feel the need to get into trouble, with other dogs because they don't have anything to prove. And that goes without saying. I mean, obviously, two stud dogs, it doesn't really pertain to that, right? But yeah, I had an issue with female dogs and being able to have female dogs together. As I have gotten more out of the gargoyle line, I've gotten a lot better results with having just even tempered dogs that can be around other dogs constantly, all the time. So
Okay.
You said with the gargoyle line?
yeah, and I'm not I'm not talking down on the line. It's just not, it wasn't for me. That's a lot of the fit and functional cool dogs. I love
the dogs that jump a 6-foot fence.
Yep. And what some of my dumbest readings were, back in the day when I put two dogs with gargoyle together. Don't do that. But, not for me. Not for me.
I heard trauma when she said that.
Huh?
I heard trauma when you said that. Your eyes is not for me.
Yes, it wasn't good. But that's just because it doesn't fit my lifestyle, right?
Right.
I'm not saying anything against people that use it and because they're doing working dogs, that's cool, that's awesome. It just isn't my what I can do here. I just don't have the want to do that. So yeah.
What about you, Bobby? You mentioned the spectrum earlier.
What's that?
You mentioned the spectrum about your puppies. You said that pick puppies on both ends of the spectrum. How do you come to your keepers? How do you?
So I wanted Agatha with more mass. Like, she's got a killer head. It's like 24, 25 inches on a female. Like, she's got a nice head. She's ripped up. She's just a killer dog. She's got an awesome rear croup set, but she could use more rear mass. Like, anything that comes back to Agatha is always mass and bone. We need more mass and bone. Chris picked the puppy that had the best of everything. She's the smallest girl in the litter, but she's got the best features. Cool head, cool widespread. She's cobby. She's got the rear croup set. So I know why he picked that. But Chris and Gina are also way farther along in their ingredients than what I am in my ingredients. So that's why I picked the way I picked. My female doesn't have the best first angle, that rear croup set. She doesn't have the best one out of the litter. Like, we're making that available to the public. But she's fucking thicker than a Snicker. You know what I mean? And just big chest, big old wide muzzle. She's dope. So we're keeping her. Because one thing that I paid attention to from Chris and Gina and a lot of people is it's easier to go down the hill than up the hill. You know what I mean? Like, it's easier to make a Rolls Royce out of a Rolls Royce than trying to make a Rolls Royce out of a fucking pit bull. It just doesn't work like that. So we're going thicker, bigger. That's why we kept both the males. That way we can cover more females down the road, whether it's ours, public, whatever. You want big and extreme, we got it. You want extreme but a little tighter, crazier, we got that too.
Yeah.
And all of my females are related. Every one of them. Low Life is Agatha's aunt.
Okay.
And Livy, well done, has a shot of inbred Studebaker in her. So all my females line up, pedigree wise, genotype wise. We just have different phenotypes going on. So that's where the boys are going to come in down the road. We have more options. We're not just stuck with one stud. Like well done. We have our next breeding planned already, but by the time these guys get up in age, a year old, we'll have whatever way we want to go with it. You know what I mean? We want to add more mass or we want to tighten her up a little bit more. We can go either way. And I can also cover the rest of them. You know what I mean? Low Life can possibly get bred to one of them. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. There's definitely a value added by keeping 2 males, but it's still different.
Yeah.
It's still different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should have probably kept 2 females. Females produce puppies. Puppies is what makes dollars, but whatever.
Open Bobby's stud farm.
Yeah. Hey, fuck it. I don't care. I like the non-bleeding animals. You know what I mean? I hate trapping, running behind them with a diaper and putting, friggin' diapers on them, and it's a pain in the ass.
Bro, without being gross, my girl Cookie Monster will not let me put the diaper on her.
She won't?
She won't.
Nah, get that host neck between my knees and we be fighting. That's going on.
Look, you have one female start pissing and shitting in her diaper and then shaking, where it takes 3 hours to clean up. Yeah, you'll stop using diapers and let them bleed and clean up the blood. Just saying.
We have hardwood floors, so it's just like you're not getting on the couch. You're off the couch.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Usually it's in the kennel so you're going to be kenneled a little bit more, but
yeah,
after having disasters in diaper,
off the couch.
I'd rather.
That doesn't sound like fun.
Huh?
Gotta have a diaper, man.
Well, you gotta have a diaper, huh?
I'm about to when I get home. Yeah.
Big mama.
Yeah,
that's gonna be nice.
Yeah, what you got going on? Who you about to put together?
it's too soon.
It's too soon?
It's too soon. Yeah, it's too soon.
Hell yeah. Well, good luck with whatever y'all got going on.
I'll show you the female quick though.
Yeah.
We'll do that.
Run it. Need a breeding banner?
Huh?
So you need a breeding banner?
Casey's good at that stuff.
Yes, she is.
Yeah.
I'm like a retard with 3 thumbs.
I got you.
I can get it eventually, but I'm not. It's not my. You know what I mean?
Me too, bud.
Yeah.
I'll know a lot more in the next couple of days for sure.
Good deal.
But yeah.
You guys got your own progesterone machine and all that?
Not yet. We're getting close. I'm fine.
That's a game changer, yo. Game changer.
For sure.
Yeah.
Where's my screen at? There it is. Give me 1 second.
Which one are you gonna look at? The Wamflo one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna.
They got that new one that tests pregnancy too.
Yeah, I thought about that. But
is that the girl? That's that lemon brindle?
Yeah.
She's pretty.
Let me find a better.
Who's she out of?
Nunley Ranch.
Nunley, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not where we got her from, but that's where her blood's from.
Got you.
Yeah. We got her from Josh Hamby.
Okay.
What happened with him? He like fell off. That dude was pushing puppies like it wasn't nobody's business, and then poof, he disappeared.
There she goes. Yeah.
Pretty girl.
Josh on the sneak posted a puppy the other day.
Yeah.
Did he?
Like, I'm about to call him.
Yeah, because I mean, I was seeing him all over everything forever, and then it's like that dude got
Well,
in a
he-
UFO and flew to another fucking planet
what-
or some shit.
What happened is he went into full-time ministry, and that's a life and a half right there. So
Yeah.
yeah, no time for the dogs, and he found places where people had time for him, and you know what I mean. And I think things are kind of leveling out for him now. He knows what he can handle.
And no,
Yeah,
Very cool.
yeah.
Yeah, I was just curious because I've been wondering that. I'm like, man, where'd he go? And then you said you got the dog from him. I'm like, oh, perfect time to ask.
We got all the dogs from Josh. Whatever we didn't produce here came from Josh.
Right on.
My boy right there. Yeah. So I appreciate you guys for doing this.
yeah.
Oh, we appreciate you, bud.
The first
Did
time
we make it all the way through?
Oh, we made it. I told you we would. I told you it was
Yeah.
going to be a good time. Really. This is the first time we've done one on a topic. I think we covered it pretty good. And like I said, I appreciate you guys doing this.
Yeah.
We're going to do it again.
For sure.
And
Thanks for having me on.
yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
You got
Thanks for
anything to
having
say,
us, buddy.
You got anything? Anybody got anything to say before we go? Samuel, you've been quiet.
So quiet.
It's a long day. Y'all are awesome though.
I hear you, buddy. It's been a long day for me, too.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good night.
All right. Y'all have a good one. It was good talking to y'all.
Everyone.
Later.
Huh?